What are the biggest mistakes buyers are making? Our next guest is here to let you know how to avoid them. Please welcome the owner of the Avenue Home Collective, Melissa Sofia.
Welcome back to the show. Melissa Sofia is here.
Hello, hello.
All right. How you doing?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me back.
Great to have you here. Melissa, I got to ask you this point blank.
Okay.
Because we've gotten to a certain point here in this marketplace where it's gone a little cuckoo on one side.
Yeah.
However, in a couple pockets, I'm starting to see price reductions and stuff like that. So I'm starting to go, Still, that said, even more so, the question, should buyers even be looking to buy in this market? I mean, has it been exhausted? Should they just say, you know what, I'm going to take a step to the left for a year and see what happens?
You know, this is a question I get literally every day. Is it the best time to buy right now? No. You know, the best time to buy is always when it's the worst time to sell. And we all know that that's not necessarily right now. But is it still a good time to buy even though the market is so competitive? Even though I would have been here, I wouldn't have expected to see myself saying this like a year ago. Signs are still pointing to yes. And I mean, just in June of this year, well, it is June of this year, just a few days ago, it was released that we are the 6th highest paying rent city in the nation. I mean, that's nuts. We're up there with San Francisco, LA, New York. You know, that plus if you look at, MSN Money just came out with a report that said, you know, our California average rent is $2,400 a month, while our average mortgage payment is $2,200 a month.
And see, where do they even get those numbers, by the way? Because I don't know anyone who's paying that little. Like, who's paying $2,200 for a
average?
Still, that means there's people
Out
paying
there,
less than that.
oh,
Like,
yeah,
they're like, oh, the average 2-bedroom or the average 3-bedroom is $2,300. It's like, show me a 3-bedroom for $2,300. Someone.
In our San Diego and our Southern California bubble, we obviously are going to be on the high end of those averages, but. You know, this is an average for California, and I mean, when it comes down to it, it's true. There are still places where, you know, buyers will tell you it's absolutely insane for me to try to go and rent a place. What I can get for the money is sad. And, you know, not only that, they're looking at, well, at least if I buy, you know, I'm making this money and putting it towards my own investment rather than, you know, profiting someone else. And I think that is a big thing. You know, there's also things like tax benefits and you know, other considerations that buyers are taking in. But, you know, that, taking in consideration that a lot of people are looking at either renting or buying, plus, you know, we know that the interest rate is going to still continue to rise over the next year. So if you are planning on buying within the next year or so, you know, it's most likely going to be more expensive for you to do so as far as the interest rate. So that's always something to consider. And then, you know, another indicator is new home prices. So new home prices, they tend to help us determine what the values are for resale homes. And if you look at new homes, you know, those prices are still going up. And a lot of the reason is there's labor costs are rising. There's a lot of issues when it comes to that. And there's still a booming new construction industry right now. In San Diego, you can see new construction developments going up all over. Escondido, all over South County, San Marcos, Carlsbad.
Tons of multifamily, too.
Tons of multifamily. So, you know, these indicators are a little bit different than what we saw before the crash last time. So,
and I'm not saying there's going to be a crash.
Right, right.
And it's
we
true.
have a lot of things in place now that weren't in place before that are going to, you know, help us prevent that same bubble from happening. Of course, predictions are predictions, and I mean, it's dumb for us to try to even guess exactly what's going to happen, but we've never seen an economic period of recovery this long, like in a cycle. This is pretty nuts. So it's one of those things like, you know, they say play with the devil you do know rather than the devil you don't. And it's a personal thing. So if you can find a home that you want to be in for quite some time, and if you can afford the payment, you know, a lot of people, they can't wait an unforeseen amount of time for a market to adjust lower to an unforeseen amount of value. looking at that and expensive rents, buying may be the best option for them.
The thing that's funny is that, and I have said that I feel like the market's frothy at least, or that we should be
Frothy.
we should be on the lookout. Like we should be paying attention.
Right.
Because in the past, what really caused the crash was that people were saying that can't happen.
Exactly.
They weren't paying attention.
People
they were
are a lot more
ignoring
cautious
things.
now.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's my whole
Yeah.
mission with that is that. But the truth is, the best time to buy anything was always in the past.
Right.
Like, you know.
Hindsight's 20/20.
There's no matter what it is, you know. I mean, I don't care if it's stocks, blah blah blah. I mean, if I would have just not sold all the stocks I bought in my life,
Right.
wouldn't be here right now.
Literally.
Seriously.
Be like on a beach in Hawaii somewhere.
Be gone.
Or if you would have
Just
bought
Facebook alone.
or if you would have bought,
But-
you know, my husband always says, you know, remember ebooks? Remember when we wanted to invent ebooks? I was like, yeah, that would have been great. If you did that, you'd be like a billionaire right now. So, you know,
The best time to get in is always in the past. So that's the
Exactly.
hard part about really any investment is you can always look at it and go, well, gosh, there was a better time.
Absolutely.
And I get that. I think the competitive elements are the part that's frustrating people.
Exactly.
That's sort of the first step in what's causing people to go, you know what? I can't tell you how many people right now just said, I'm out.
See, I think a lot of it has to do, number one, with the agent that you have behind you. And I know, obviously, people are going to say, well, she's a real estate agent. Of course she's saying that. Choose her. But it's absolutely true. In a competitive market, it is paramount to have a great agent next to you. You know, you are competing against multiple offers. You're competing against other buyers who have maybe been in it a little bit longer and they're a little more burned by the market. They're ready to put better offers down than you. You have to be creative. You have to be aggressive. And you have to make sure you're not committing. We're going to talk about, you know, the biggest mistakes that buyers are committing right now. And
Tell me,
all
what's
right.
the biggest one?
Well, absolutely. One of the biggest mistakes buyers are making right now are, I mean, first of all, you got to, don't put the cart before the horse. So you have to make sure your financial house is in order. And what I mean by that is if you are struggling with your monthly payments already, if you have a ton of debt, you know, it's probably not the best time for you to buy right now. If you have a hold, if you're on top of your monthly expenses and you're still able to put away a little bit of money every month, you may be in a good position to go ahead and take on a mortgage loan. So, you know, definitely look at that, number one. You know, in a market like this, you have to be sure that you're in the right place to buy. Number two, make sure that you're buying not for the short term, but that you are able to withstand any dips in the market. If there's anything we learned from the last market, it's that people were overconfident about what was going to happen in the near future. They were buying at these very high prices and they were paying these
Crazy fees.
Crazy fees.
Terrible
they were doing
loans.
adjustable rate mortgages, and they were like, well, you know what? I'm just going to refinance in 2 years. They didn't know that the bottom was going to completely drop out from them, and there was not going to be any chance for them to refi. And a lot of, you know, a lot of clients I saw also bought a place that they were like, well, we'll move in a couple of years. We barely fit in it now, but we just want to get in. And then they were stuck in that same home that they could barely fit in, you know, for years. So, you know, if you are not sure you're going to be in San Diego for 3 to 5 years or ideally even longer, or if you're not sure that you can fit in a 1-bedroom condo or a 2-bedroom, you know, unit for a few years, it may not be the best time to buy.
What you're saying is buy for the long term.
Buy for the long term.
If you buy for the long term in real estate, it always tends to work out.
Exactly.
And you can look at any, you know, 10 to 15 year period and you'll find, like even if you look from the peak of last time until we got back to those same prices this time, it was almost right at 10 years. So it's
Exactly.
like, even if you buy at the absolute worst time, if you have at least a 10-year time horizon,
It doesn't matter.
you should be okay. Miss Sophia,
100%.
thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah.
Great to see you
Thanks.
again. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.